That's where you can't go full trigger or you'll pop a tire. Blew a tire. All right, welcome back. So, had to get up to the hobby shop to get some more tire glue because I ran out of tire glue, and that was the main reason for not gluing the X-Max tires that I put on the XRT. They're I try to do them new, but what I found is when they unglue and you re-glue them, they actually will glue better. Once you stretch them out and all the weak spots to the tire show themselves, they'll actually get little gaps in it, and when you glue it, the glue will seep down and really get into that bead. But I've done it both ways, but regardless, 1 or 2 runs, you got to re-glue the tires anyway. So I end up going through a lot of tire glue with all my tires, and it's not just TRAXXAS, it's not just Arma, it's literally all brand tires, whether it's Proline, doesn't matter the brand of tire. It just seems to be a thing that the glue is just not strong enough, and we proved this with the Mojave. You can't take a brand new set of tires, bolt them on with any kind of power. If it's a stock RC, it might hold. And like I said, you know, for me, I try to keep the X-Max wheel speed down, and it looks like the XRT, being a buggy, I really wanted a little bit more power than my X-Maxes, just because monster truck, they tend to be a little wobbly. Even with the wide kit, still, you know, it's stable. You know, you guys saw the 3-wheel motion, which I'll put a little clip of that in here. That's the great thing about a wide kit, is that it makes it real stable. But that stability isn't good when you're trying to do tricks. You don't want the RC real stable, because now you're trying to make it unstable and you're trying to correct it, do front flips and back flips and whatever other stunts you can do. So I look at the X-Max as a stunt truck. This, you know, I want to get some height to it. I want to get some air. I want to be able to backflip mid-air when I choose, whether it's back flip or front flip. Now I have to run this on smoother surfaces versus the X-Max. I run it on real rocky conditions. This one I find, you know, you got to run it on some smoother conditions. But the other rear bulkhead came in for this, or an X-Max, as you see, 7727. They've added the R, and I think they added the R because it's interchangeable between the XRT and the X-Max. Also, I've been trying to order the new 7720X, which is the front upper bulkhead. It's still not available, whether it's through the part stores or anywhere. TRAXXAS doesn't have that part available for your front upper bulkhead. So I'm going to take my old one and I'm going to try to build a strap for it, kind of like I did with the rear. We just have to do it a little different on the front, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. But I will figure out a way, and we will get it supported so that I can bash this thing as hard as I want. Because so far, the weak point on this seems to be the upper bulkheads and the tires. So whether it's X-Max tires or the factory tires. Now I have already re-glued the factory tires, so but I still want to give it a rip on some X-Max tires. I might throw on the factory tires, I might throw on the X-Max tires, I'm just not sure. Right now I know I've got to get these X-Max tires fixed up. So like I said, these things are brand new. The foam came out and now I have to stuff this foam in there. It's funny how easy the foam comes out. It was clear on the video in the air when I hit the trigger. And the only reason it landed on the roof is because as soon as I saw the tire blue in the air, I let off the trigger just so I didn't rip this tire. If I would have stayed on the trigger and tried to land that, possibilities of ripping this tire is really high. And $90 for two of them, it's just too expensive, you know. So the nice thing is I was able to let off the trigger. So I'm going to try to stuff this thing in here. I know it was really hard stuffing the other one in. It's funny, I've never had an X-Max do this before. It like did it identical to the way the other tire did it, to where the foam just flew out of the thing. All right, I'm gonna get this stuffed in here. We'll be right back. All right. So I went ahead and got that stuffed in there. Telling you guys, that's a bit of work trying to get that foam back in there. Ooh, I'm out of breath. So, trying the TLR. People always ask me what glue I get. It's whatever your store has. This is Proline glue, TLR glue, whatever they have that specifically says it's for tires. Tire glue is different than model glue. So just remember that. I've got a little more left in this bottle. I'm going to see if I can get this end on here. And then we're going to go ahead, take off most of this. And that's going to allow me to get inside of there. On the smaller ones, you can use, you know, the whole tip of it, 10 scales, that kind of stuff. On the bigger RCs, you really need the strength of the tip to get down in there. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to really lay this glue in there. Takes a lot of glue to do these bigger tires. And I think whoever's building the tires for these people, whether it's Arma, TRAXXAS, whoever, they're just putting glue on the edge now. So all I'm doing is pulling it away, soaking the tire with glue so we can really get down in that bead. All the way to the top. Got to do it quick because it'll love to start gluing up by the time you get around. And then there'll be an overflow of glue all the way around, and that's okay. I feel they're doing it just so the rim looks nice. But looking nice and performing are two different things. We really need these tires to perform. I can't do the back until this sets up a little bit. You can see where I added glue before I ran it last time. Somebody was saying, I thought you glued them before you ran them. I glued the spots that were cracking, that were clear that they weren't connected. So I'm just using a little bit of alcohol, some rubbing alcohol, 70%. You can do 90, 100, it doesn't really matter. Just to get a better bond. But I didn't have enough glue to do all the way around on 8 tires. I only had 1 bottle. Because the Mojave, my speed run, off-road speed build, I used up a lot of tire glue on that RC. Now we got the Cletus wheels on it. But somebody was asking me, can you put the Cletus wheels on this? No, because this is a basher. Those hard landings, that kind of stuff, the rims will just break. You need the rubber tire for the cushion for the landing, for all the mistakes you're going to make. And Cletus wheels I built, they won't handle that. You can see the sections where the tire was about to start coming undone. And it's right at the section of where I glued. God, this tire was about to come undone. All right, just wanted to turn the camera on and show that. These, you can tell I've glued both sides now. The inner of this, like the inner of the X-Max, has got this big ridge all the way around on the inner bead. And I just kind of fill that with glue. And let it dry. Fill that whole inner edge with glue. There we go. Be back. All right, so while I'm waiting for these tires to glue up, went ahead and just temporarily glued that piece back into place because I want to mock up the upper bulkhead with a strap. And I've showed this before, is that you can't do what we did before without modifying it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up taking off enough material here to get the strap to clear. So I'm probably going to just put a slice in these, I think is the best way. And then hopefully that's back far enough. So that's what I'm going to do. So I want to bolt it right in here. Right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this line. I'm going to put a slice down in here, and take off material until this slips down in there. And that should be good enough. Now this one's broken, but that's okay. As long as I can get the strap in there, we will be okay. Since we're melting the plastic. That's pretty good. There's a slight angle to these as well. So I'm going to use these as guide pins. All right. we go. Now I have to drill this thing out. So I'm going to use the Dremel to drill it out since I don't have a drill here today. To the back side. And there we go. We can still get to these. I'll just have to check clearance on these heads to make sure that it's clear. But we just cut it into the piece that breaks off. We just sliced it into it so that we're flush against the bulkhead. And now we'll have a strap on the rear and a strap on the front. So this will really support. And it seems to be the upper holes that break. Right now I have it set up in the lower holes, hoping that that will be better, that it'll stop ripping the tops of these things off. But that's going to be my fix for this. Now I'm going to try this bulkhead, upper bulkhead on there and make sure that it does work. And then this sits in here, and then on that it has tabs that come out over here that line up with this when this slips in there. So I won't have to trim the control arms this time because we've done it this way. So I think that's going to work. But the only way to know is to build it and, like I said, see if it does work. So that's my plan for the upper bulkhead on this. I will be cleaning this one up. I got to wash it, get all the grinds out of the inside because there is still grease on the inside. And try this upper bulkhead on the XRT since this is the original one. The strap will support it now. So it's okay that the tops are broken off because we have a metal piece in there now. So I believe that's going to work, but no way to tell until you actually run it on the RC and then go bash it. So that's going to be my fix for the front bulkhead. I am waiting for some more of those straps. If it works, well, if this bulkhead works up there, then as soon as they're available, I'll buy another new one, modify it, and stick it on there. I don't know if this one's broken yet or not. I know I broke the rear, and I do have a new rear. I'm hoping the front's still okay, but if it's not, we're going to throw this one in there anyway. So, and if this fits and all the pins go in fine, then I'll go ahead and modify the good one, stick it back in there with 2 straps on it. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching.